comes to the census?
I don't have any data to support that. I can tell you that in the past there have been communities within Ohio who have felt that there was an undercounting. And there is a challenge process, is there not? If a state or a community within a state feels as if there has been an undercounting, there is a process by which they can challenge the results and try to get relief if it is warranted. Any other comments? Yes?
Mr. Boyce about any of this meeting?
Yes. Would you like to, was that a question for me or?
Well, just if we could just ask Mr. Boyce a couple questions.
Sure. Absolutely. Thank you.
Just give us a snapshot of your plans for any of this meeting.
Well, first of all, let me tell you, first let me thank Governor Strickland for appointing me as chair of the committee. A couple of things. First, I've been in the office of treasurer for the last 3 months and traveled around the state and talked to many Ohioans about the challenges and the issues that they face as a community. What's clear to me is that it goes far beyond just today's economic situation, that the issues they care about, health care, public schools, safety, employment, and those kinds of things are at the core of what defines their happiness in life. And so we believe in the Treasury's office, and our role will be to ensure that every penny, knowing that every penny is important in this economic time and beyond, our role is to ensure that everyone's counted so that every Ohioan receives the dollars that are rightfully due to them and to our community. As it relates to the committee, what we're going to do is reach out, beginning with the mayors, county commissioners, and those who represent either regional or local governments, and try to coalesce around those local communities in creating resources that will allow us to have access to the right information, the right people, so that we can ensure every Ohioan is accounted for. And as far as the committee goes, we'll begin to convene and meet immediately. I believe the executive order establishes the date of June 1st that we need to convene by, and so we're going to begin to organize immediately so that whatever strategy we employ with those local communities, we will at least have had a framework to work from that we think will best accomplish that effort and that goal.
I don't know that it would be possible to make that kind of characterization that would be generally applied to individuals. I think some folks are just concerned about their privacy, and that's why the census has these very definite and very special obligations placed on the workers, with the possibility of jail time if they were to break their oath. Perhaps some people just have a general reluctance to share personal information, and perhaps all of us have some degree of that. But the more we can convey to people the reality of how this data will be gathered and processed and used, I think the more willing the people will be to fully participate. And as people come to understand the importance of this data in terms of resources coming back to our state and federal government. So I think we've got, a responsibility to be candid with people and to provide reassurance to them that their participation will in no way compromise them in any way, because what we want is to know who they are and where they're located and a few distinguishing characteristics. And the census is using for this particular 2010 census only the short form, which means 10 questions, which we believe can be completed in 10 minutes or less. There will be an annual community survey form that is a longer form that will be used on an annual basis throughout the census period, the 10-year period of time, to collect information. But for the 2010 census, we are only asking for people to provide a response to 10 questions, and we think it can be completed in 10 minutes or less.
Are there any new?
Can I add something to that too?
I think also it's important to understand that the role of the committee is to disseminate information to our citizens, to not only ensure their confidence, but to encourage them to be fully engaged with the process. And so part of our role and job will be to ensure that citizens understand the confidentiality involved in the process, that they understand how their information will be used and how it will impact their community. And that's what we're charged with, and that's what the committee's role will primarily be responsible for doing. So I think they play a big part in making sure Ohioans have a little more comfort and confidence in the information that they share with the government.
Well, that's a challenge, but I can tell you that every effort will in fact be made to reach out to the homeless, and that will include visits to shelters and to community organizations that work with homeless individuals, both in urban areas as well as in rural areas. That has been a problem with with getting a complete count in the past. It's a challenge, but it's one that we will pursue aggressively.
Are students? Can I add something to that too?
It's also important to understand that's really where the local government representatives come into play. As a person that comes from local government myself, I can tell you that cities, city councils, mayors are generally in tune with where those populations exist and how they best can be counted. And so the whole concept beyond the Ohio Complete Count Committee will be the local Complete Count Committees that will help us have access to the individuals who are, in many cases, the hardest population to reach, or at least be counted in the process.
Are college students counted at the university where they're attending, or in the state they came from?
They are counted where they are residing at the time the census is conducted.